So, season 4, episode 35, and we're here with 2 new guests. We've got Jake from Green Genie, he's landscaping,
Sound.
along with Ethan in the crowd. And we've also got
Alex.
from South Coast EV, and he's here with somebody called Peter. At least one Peter could join us tonight, because the other one is...
Wow, what's he got? Do we know what he's got yet? I've just seen on the socials, he's looking real gaunt, isn't he?
He just looks ill.
Yeah.
So I'll let him off for a change.
He does.
Normally he's just late.
He's bought something back from Kenya that could be anything, really, couldn't it?
Who should we start with tonight? Who should we get into first?
Let's go EVs first.
EVs?
Yeah, just because I know you'll want to chat EVs because you're an EV guy.
No, I just want somebody to convert you.
No, you'll never do it. Never get me out of a petrol car.
Why not?
It's the noise, it's the symphony, it's everything. I'll get really passionate about this. A mate of mine.
I get worried when he's doing that.
A mate of mine is massive Tesla, like you, loves Teslas, loves all the tech in them, all that sort of stuff.
Did you see what Andrew Tate said about people?
That guy, that's a whole different conversation.
You sound a bit like him when you won't go EV.
No, wow.
Don't put me on par with him. Where's your Bugatti? Where is it?
Yeah, ain't quite got to the Bugatti yet.
So, normally what we do on the show is we just take you back to sort of explain to everybody how you got into what you're doing, because obviously, hopefully, when you were younger, EVs weren't around.
Nope.
So just sort of explain to us sort of the process. Did you go to uni, college, whatever? Did you just go straight into your job from leaving school? Just take us back, and then sort of how you got into doing what you're doing now.
Yeah, so when I left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do for a job. So I had a phase of going through many different things, sales.
What was the worst one?
I spent a bit of time doing telesales, and that was soul destroying. Wasn't
what were you
much fun.
selling?
What, just cold calling random people?
Yeah, so I worked for a hospitality company called the HS and BC, so the Hospitality Sports and Business Club, and you'd call up and say, I'm calling from HSBC, to get past what they call the gatekeeper.
Yeah. Ronald, we've got a guy who wants me PIN number.
Glenys, are you there, Glenys? No, she's gone.
I did that for a bit. I hated it. Spent some time working in some supermarkets and shops, and then I became a paint sprayer in the motor trade. That's what my dad did for a living. Still does now, but he paints boats instead. So I did that for a bit. But back then I was about 18, 19.
One thing about Bournemouth, isn't Sunseeker yachts down there?
Yes, but I believe most of the manufacturing is now done in China. Yes, I did that for a bit, but being young, I struggled a bit with authority, being told what to do, and being disciplined. So I did it for a couple of years, had a falling out with my employer, and I left.
Don't just skirt over that. What happened there? You can't just...
Well, I shinned him. He told me not to come back.
It was meant to be green.
I was just fed up of taking his shit.
Really?
Yeah. Am I allowed to swear on it? It's a bit late. He was a bit of a dick, and one day I just had enough of it, and I just told him to jog on. I said, "Do you know what, see you later, I can't be arsed with this shit."
Oh, how old were you then?
About 19, 20.
Just no one could tell you anything then?
No, I was earning good money doing it. Like back then, I was earning like £15 an hour
right.
as like a 19-year-old paint sprayer, so it was quite good money. I just fell out of love with doing it. I only really did it because my dad got me involved, being what he does for a trade.
So did you feel, because your old man got you into it, it was like the legacy thing? A lot of tradespeople are always, or not always, a lot of the time, my dad was a plumber or my granddad, so you felt, if my dad wants me to do it, I'm gonna get into it.
He loved it when we did any projects sort of outside of work at home, painting cars and stuff. I knew he liked it when I was involved, and I enjoyed doing it with working with him. But just didn't like the environment I was working in. But so I did that for a couple of years, and sort of in between that, my partner's uncle was sort of a handyman, so I dabbled a bit in electrics, helping him out, and I like being hands-on. So basically, I paid to do what's called a domestic installer course, which is sort of a lot of people take the piss out of it because it's sort of like a joke course really that gives you an understanding of sort of domestic electrical installations and it allows you to work in that environment, but it's like a 4-week course.
Right. Okay.
So I can understand why people were sceptical about it, but I did it because I thought it put me in good stead to then find an employer, because I've invested some of my own money in wanting to retrain, and I basically did this course with no real sort of sign as to where I was going to go after it. I'd emailed probably hundreds of local electrical contractors in our area. And luckily enough for me, there was one mug that contacted me back.
4 weeks, you got a job.
Yeah, well, so they took me on the guy that took me on a higher rate than the boss wanted to take me on for. So bearing in mind, I've got no real skills other than this course. I think they were paying me £12 an hour as technically a first-year apprentice, because I then went through my full apprenticeship at college properly.
Oh, they put you through that?
Yeah, so I was probably the highest paid apprentice ever in the Dorset area, I imagine, £12 an hour as a first year. So yeah, I went through that. Unfortunately, I went through about 4 or 5 employers during my apprenticeship, because my boss at the time had some issues with keeping a business running. It was folding, and he started up another one.
Paying you £12 an hour.
Yeah, I had a fuel card as well. Yeah, so we did that. He was a really good guy. He had a heart of gold, but he just
couldn't run a business.
Not really.
Some people struggle though, don't they? They can get the work in, they can do all that, but when it comes down to the paperwork side of it, and they just got no chance of making it work.
He's really good at getting work in. I'll give him that. But it's just the day-to-day running, I think, was where the struggle lies. So I finished my apprenticeship with a much bigger company based in sort of Fareham way, which is Hampshire, called Hopkins. I then left, worked with a couple of other people, went back to my employer that was folding on a regular basis, where Pete rejoined me there. Just to step back a bit, we've worked together on and off for 10 years on various companies before we sort of formed South Coast EV. We went back there, the same shit happened again. We stopped being paid, and it was coming up to Christmas, and I felt we'd both sort of wanted to do this for a while, and we just said, fuck it, let's get paid for Christmas, hand a notice in. We set this up with no work booked in.
What age was you at that point then?
That was 1.5 years ago.
Right, okay.
So I spent quite a bit of time working with various different companies in different types of electrical installations, to commercial, industrial.
So was that still during COVID?
It was after.
Just after.
So yeah,
I can't even remember how long ago COVID was.
We officially started trading January last year. It was just the 2 of us for about 9 months, and now we've got 2 employees that work with us as well. One's an apprentice, and the other one's sort of newly qualified. The apprentice is Pete's son, so we know him well. And likewise, Reese, the electrician, we took him off our old employer. He's come to work with us. And we've sort of slowly grown.
Because obviously with electrics, there's so many different things that you can go into. What was it really about the EV and the solar stuff? I know obviously it's a growing market.
Yeah.
So what was it that sort of interested you about that?
When I was working for my old boss, when I went back there, they were just starting to get in the EV charging industry, and I joined, and he said, I want you to run this. And back then I was like, oh, you're fucking joking me. I can't be asked with this, because there's so much paperwork involved with EV charging, grants and stuff. I can't be asked for this. But I started doing it, and then I really got involved with sort of researching electric vehicles, learning about them, and I really liked getting involved with it. So I ran that there for about a year. And when they started it, they were doing like 2 EV installs a month maybe. And then when we left, they were doing about 40. So there was a guy doing 1 or 2 a day every day of the week. And it built up, and it's a really growing market. We're really interested in it. And then when we set up South Coast EV, we chose that name because that's what we're primarily specialising in, but we do all electrical works, and we've recently sort of branched into doing solar and renewables, because again, that's another booming market really. So that's sort of how we got there.
I mean, have you noticed just from when you started doing that side, obviously you mentioned that you've gone from doing 2 to doing 40. What's the progress been since you've done your own business? Like, how many EV chargers are you starting to install, to give people a bit of perspective about?
Sure. So we like to keep it, we like to change things up, and we don't want to do the same thing for too long, but on average we might fit, so there's 4 of us, 1 month we might fit 20 to 40 vehicle chargers. The next month we might be doing a rewire, so we're not fitting any. But we were working with a lot of sort of national subcontractors initially, because we needed work coming in when we sort of started, and we're trying to move away from that and be like an in-house operation now, where we don't need these national companies, because they have a lot of, if you look up these companies and read their reviews, there's some shocking stuff going on, because there's a lot of people that don't really know what they're doing that are doing it. Corey posted a video the other day of one he'd gone to fix. I don't know if you've seen it.
He got a bit of abuse for that as well.
Yeah. But yeah, so we have spells of doing load. Like last week, we were on a week-long project. We only installed 4, but we had like an 80-metre massive sub-main run. There's a lot of work involved with doing like workplace or vehicle charging, like groundworks and stuff like that, which we don't do.
I was just going to say, do you cover all of it, or you sub out the groundworks, get them to dig it out?
If it's like a soft dig or like a gravel and some soil and stuff like that, we'll do it because we'll just get it done. We're not waiting for anything. We don't like to be waiting for other people that might let us down. But like groundworks, we're not set up for that. We have joked about getting involved with it so we can just do the lot, because relying on
talk to these guys.
It's
the fun part of the job, isn't it?
It's something we've sort of casually discussed as a joke, but on a serious note, it might be worth us sort of doing, or at least partnering up with someone that we can say every time, let's work together on this, and we have a process we then go through, and it's a smooth operation.
So could you predominantly just do EVs charging points if you wanted to?
If we wanted to,
you could streamline just that is what we do.
Yeah.
But you're still branching out and doing installs and stuff.
I know from speaking to a lot of the Sparkies just on Instagram and socials that there's people that want to get into it, but obviously don't really. The reason I asked you about how many you're likely to install is people go, well, am I only going to get 2 or 3 of these a month? And then I start specialising in something, and actually my core business sort of
just
drops
putting
off.
yourself in that pigeonhole, aren't you?
Yeah. But I know so many Sparkies that are like, oh, I really want to do it, but I'm not too sure. So it's sort of trying to.
If you're happy working with these national companies and companies like that, you could be doing it all day, every day. But
because there's 2 Sparkies I know, the actual guy who installed them out the front, like probably 5 or 6 years ago when I had my first Tesla charger installed, they both came out together, and then one was like, I'm going to go and learn how to do this and add. The other guy was a bit like, And now obviously Si has got his own business just doing chargers.
Yeah.
So I always try and give people perspective about how much business, like if you're worried about starting or going into EVs.
Yeah. Although we sort of want to move away from those sorts of companies, we built a relationship with artisans because they only cover a small area, or what I class as a small area. They pass us a lot of potential work, shall we say, in areas that we're happy to cover, which is great for us when they recommend us, because we basically we're sort of almost guaranteed the job because they've gone to YouTube, they've watched them. So they're doing good things, and then as we've been recommended, it's good for us because we get the work. But that's sort of.
So what make? Go on.
I was just going to say, so as what Artisan do, obviously through the YouTube stuff, because I've seen you've just had a channel for a while, but all of a sudden now you're putting a bit more emphasis on it, aren't you? And
we did a lot when we first started. I'm more of the one out of the 2 of us that doesn't mind being on camera and sort of pushes social media. So we bought a GoPro and didn't really know what we were doing with it.
So we all start.
To be honest, everyone's like, I've got a GoPro.
As long as you've got a GoPro,
you just look at it for a bit.
I thought that was all I needed to do to be successful. But then I soon got fed up because with the GoPro, it works well for some people, like Nick Bundy.
Yeah, I use GoPro.
But what I found, I stopped doing what I was doing to then film what I wanted to show.
Yeah.
Whereas now what we're trialling is we've got a videographer who's sort of finishing his degree at Bournemouth Arts Uni. So
fucking hell, it's gone straight in. Do we need to get a videographer now?
But the good thing about him is he's going to be less than someone that's been doing it years, but he's also extremely keen because he's just about to go out into the real world and find a job doing what he's studied for like 4 years. So it works really well for us. So we've done like 2 videos with him, and we've got another one coming out today, it was like a 2-part job from last week. We've got really no followers whatsoever on YouTube because we've never really bothered trying to do anything with it. We're literally talking like less than 200 people on YouTube.
But I've looked at yours for your subscriber base, which is, I don't know,
the views.
The views on them last 2 videos are massive. And I looked
good.
at your back catalogue of the videos that you did, and there's not a lot on it.
No.
But there's not a lot because you haven't got the subscriber base.
Yeah.
But to have 2 videos hitting 2,500-3,000 views for that subscriber base, it's massive. That's mega.
Yeah, we're really happy with that, and even on Instagram, like we've got, compared to these guys, we've got no followers.
Yeah, no one's got any followers compared to these ones.
They've got more than all of us combined.
But we just like trying to create partnerships with other companies that are like us, that are happy to work with people like us, because there's some people, when you ask them for advice, it's like they think you're going to take their work
Yeah.
off them, so they won't tell you anything, which is ridiculous because we're based in a different county, for God's sake. We're not going to come up and take your work. We just want to work and
You never know.
Yeah. Well, we have been known to go up to Manchester and do some stuff.
Right,
occasionally.
really? So you're willing to push the boundaries of yours right up the country?
It was a unique situation. In Bournemouth, there's a car dealer called Premier Sports Solutions, which sell to footballers and celebrity clientele, and they've started selling Porsche Taycans, Teslas of all the models, and we somehow got jammy, got in there, fitted a couple for them, and then before we knew it, we were doing James Anderson's, the England cricketer up in Manchester. We've since done another couple of cricketers, and the Tommy Elphick, who's the Bournemouth assistant manager.
Former Villa player.
Yeah, great defender. We seem to keep moving his charger from rental to rental. He moves and then we move his charger again, and then he pays us to do it again, and then we've just done it again today. One of our guys has done it. But
Just put a new one in each time, as if you're moving it.
yeah, but
I'm going to bloody move mine when I move. I'm leaving it there for someone else. It's one of them Anderson ones as well.
all nice.
So what sort of money is it? Say for instance, you had a Tesla house in my house.
I've got a posh charger for.
Yeah,
So what are you sort of looking for a complete
Are they still
fit?
Are they still going now, Anderson? Because they folded.
So they
didn't
folded, but then they were bought out by a company called Evios. So they've sort of
Basically, the
back.
charger I've got at home.
Yeah.
It coils round, but it's all hidden, so it just literally looks like a square box.
Right,
in front of
okay.
He's got the most expensive charger. That you
Of course he has.
you. Stop it.
But an average charger to buy is around 500-600 quid plus
Right.
VAT. And
I
then,
think that's why you won't get an EV. Is because some of the chargers look like commodes. They
Oh,
literally look
right.
like porta potties.
Yeah,
Do you know
yeah.
what I mean? They look
It's
terrible.
just too much like work coming home, plugging into a commode. It worked well with a van, be fine.
so that's the sort of price they are. And then for an installation,
You still get the government grants, though.
so homeowner grants that was around doesn't exist unless you're a flat homeowner or you're renting a flat. So there used to be one for if you owned a property, you could get the 350 grant off of the installation.
I didn't get that on mine either.
I was just going to say he'd have got that.
No, I didn't. I wasn't allowed it.
Well, because you went for the
Missed it, I think.
expensive charger.
Yeah.
Well, James Anderson wanted it. All the money he's got, and he wanted the government grant.
That's why they've got all the money on it.
Jimmy Anderson.
So you're looking around £1,000 or so for it in, fitted,
Uh,
bit more.
yeah, more like 1,500.
Right, okay.
Yeah, or if you're artisan, about £3,000.
Controversial.
Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah. Cheers, Jordan.
No, we love it because when we get jobs from them, our prices change
Yeah.
accordingly. Not
Artisan prices.
but no, he lives in a completely different area to us where the cost of living is
Kept
different.
like Cambridge, yeah.
Yeah, so he can charge those prices, whereas
All
we
them uni students. Oh, Tarquin, I need a
Oh,
charger.
Rupert, we've got the charger going in Monday.
Anderson EV, stick one of those in.
But even though we've got sandbanks, we just can't get away with.
Oh,
those
of course,
prices.
yeah. Sandbags. You've got a few quid down there.
Yeah,
Stick a 3
They've all
grand
got a
bill
boat
in.
instead of a car, though. That's the problem.
but yeah, we funnily enough, we went to a call out the other day. We have a set fee we charge to go to a call out. It was 75 quid, and the customer got a bit funny about it, and she's like, basically taking the piss. You're charging sandbanks prices, and I'm like, well, no, that's a call out. And if you ask any electrician, the call out's probably within 10 quid of that for the first hour to pop out and look at what it is. And it was because we were recommended from someone that lives in Sandbanks. She thought we were taking the mickey with what we were charging for that, but it's just the call out price is what it is. You didn't have to call us out. But yeah, we were there within the hour.
Pay me, I'll see you later.
We sorted it. We went there, we sorted it, and
I think a lot of people buy an EV, even though like some of the EVs are so expensive, and then when they get the charger, they complain about the charge, and you're thinking you've just spent God knows how much on a car,
Yeah. And that, having that fitted.
and the charger's nothing in comparison.
yeah,
But they just don't want to spend money on a charger. You want to buy
It is.
the car, you got to buy the.
it is funny.
He's weird.
Yeah, but yeah, so that's where we're sort of slowly growing. We'd like to get to, I think, maybe sort of 6 to 8 people. We'll probably try and cap it at that. And
Would you move to? Obviously, you've got like Southampton, Portsmouth.
yeah,
far from you.
Portsmouth.
Yeah, so
we cover all those areas. We go up sort of Guildford way,
yeah.
doing EV and PV, which we're sort of still new to really doing solar. But we cover probably a larger area than most people will.
Yeah.
As long as people are happy to pay.
What got you into the solar then? From the it was just you just thought renewables go into and sort of specialise a bit more in that than.
Yeah, me and Pete have both sort of been involved with solar in the past on other companies. I worked for a company where that's pretty much all they did. And then, we've started, because working with Artisan, we've been getting inquiries coming through, and they're generally solar inquiries, and we just thought we need to get involved. We don't want to miss the boat here, and we want to get in it now before everyone's doing it. And so we're currently going through getting our what's called an MCS, so it's an accreditation that allows us to apply for the feed-in tariff for the customer, like smart export guarantee, so they can get rates for exporting back to the grid. I don't know why you'd want to do that, because normally you'd look to have battery storage put in, and you don't want to sell anything back to the grid. You want to store it and use it yourself.
Yeah.
But
so you do all the battery storage side of it as well, a lot.
Yeah. So we're going through getting our MCS accreditation, which then means we can do any type of solar job with.
Which out of the two then, the EVs or the sort of solar, which is growing quickest, you think?
I'd say solar, I think, at the moment. And solar jobs, from our perspective, they're obviously more money than fitting a vehicle charger. They take a bit longer to do generally, but we could technically be doing far less of those a month than EVs and be earning way more, just because that's sort of how it is in that industry. It's sort of
that's another thing that I always tend to find with like sparkies plumbers. Actually, some people pigeonhole themselves into like the EV chargers, but they don't realise you can go and do one solar job, and you make more off that than installing 20 EV chargers or something like that. So
it's the same with my trade. A lot of plumbers or heating engineers or whatever won't do bathrooms because you spend a lot of time on that job doing that bathroom.
Do you do bathrooms? Because I don't need someone to say.
I love a bathroom. Well, I say I love a bathroom. The last three I've had have been a right nightmare. But you spend a lot of time on it. There's good money in it. But a lot of reactive plumbers want to be in, out, and they just do the little jobs. Because, yes, you can earn big money on them little in and out jobs, but being based on a job like that, that's why, likes of Pointy, he won't do bathrooms. Categories on the side of his van, I don't do bathrooms.
That's what he's got.
Yeah, he's got boilers, this, that, and the other. I don't do bathrooms. But yeah, it's the same sort of thing.
I'm going to ring him, and pretend I'm a customer and say, "Excuse me, would you come round and do my bathroom?"
He'll go, "I don't do them." But you just don't pigeonhole yourself, do you? No. That, if you're now going into that solar side as well, you've got to go where is earning you the money.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's where it's going to be. The downside to the solar jobs is there's a lot of time that's involved in trying to win the job, and then you don't get it. Like a lot of the jobs we go and look at, we might spend if you accumulated all the hours, maybe 2 days looking at it, quoting it, doing the survey, doing the generation report for them, getting a list of materials, and then they go, "Oh, I've had a national company coming and they're £10,000 less than you." Well, we're never going to compete with that, and there's generally a reason there's so much less than us.
Of course,
because they lock you in, and if you sell your house, you got to sell the solar at the same time, or something. Yeah. Somebody's got to keep it on there.
We're not trying to compete with those companies, obviously, and they'll work all over the UK, whereas we're sort of in an area. But it's slowly growing, and I think we're going to do well out of that once we properly get involved with it. We've just got this sort of hiccup at the moment of getting the MCS accreditation to allow us to do certain types of solar jobs.
How long does that normally take?
Well, they take your money up front, and then
as they always do,
and then leave you hanging for about 6 months.
So anybody that's listening or watching, how much is that, and how long does it normally take?
Sure. So, as a company, we're with the NIC for our electrical sign-offs, but we've chosen NAPIT for our MCS accreditation because it's supposed to be a smoother and quicker process. So they've taken just over £1,000 off us up front.
Yeah.
I've had one email since. I then randomly got
That's
an email.
That's why it's smooth, because you turn your hair up.
Then last Sunday, I had an email from them, and I thought, this is fucking weird. I'm getting emails on Sundays from them.
They'd had the coronation. They were like,
but literally, they phoned me up, and they're like, "So if I can have your card details?" And I said, "Well, hang on a minute. Let's go through this first."
Yeah.
He didn't even introduce himself. He just said, "Calling from NAPIT."
He was from Call from Nigeria. Well, you can't do it.
Yeah, it reminded me of Dom Jolly.
You're from NAPIT? No, Nigeria.
Yeah, they've taken our money off us, and the ball has started rolling. I don't know how long it's going to take. I think we're looking at probably another 4 weeks before we actually
Did anybody like Jordan let you know how long it normally takes? Or
well, he's currently going through the same process himself, getting his MCS.
Through NAPIT. They've just taken all the money off everyone, haven't they?
I think he's gone down the NIC route, but he's got his assessment booked in, so he's further along with it than we are. But that's sort of holding us up from doing certain types of works, which is a bit frustrating.
Is that not something that you can do and then, because it's pending, then go back and fill out what you've got to do?
Not if they reject you.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah, it's a strange one because sort of what they're going to want to come to assess. We're not really supposed to be installing that for them. So how do they?
But you've got to assess it. They've got to assess
so what
it.
are you assessing? So do we install it and then hope that's all good? Just do one of them and hope that that's good enough for them when they come out and they'll be like, oh, well, fair enough. Like, otherwise, what are we looking at? Like we've paid you a load of money, and what are you coming to look at?
You empty there.
Third one down.
Another one.
Yeah.
I thought he sat there very quiet. I thought he's empty there.
Rubbing his throat. It's like that.
It's bad, isn't it?
So have you not had a supply issue with like the batteries and stuff like that coming in? Because I know boiler wise, there has been recently, the last 4 or 5 months, struggling to get boilers, parts for boilers. Is it the same thing with that?
Yeah, we've had a couple of issues. Like we're waiting quite a while for quotes back from the wholesalers because some distributors won't give them a price because they don't currently have the product, so they're not willing to give them a price on it, which is gets us in a bit of a pickle because then we're probably losing out on some jobs because these national firms, they've got all this stuff in stock, so they're just generally winning the work. So we have had a little bit of an issue, but our main wholesaler who we use, Yes Electrical, they're sort of getting more and more involved with it, and they're going to start stocking stuff we like to use if they can at our local branch in a container, so it should be on hand when we put the call in for a quote.
Yes, Electrical Bournemouth. I've been in there a few times.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gents, tradesmen and women, I am trying to help you organise yourself. So we have teamed up with Tradify, which is a software brand that if you are struggling to get organised, to look after your customers and to get everything ready for the jobs that you are going to need, then Tradify is an all-in-one solution. So we've teamed up with those guys. If you click this little link just up here, you get 50% off your first 3-month subscription, and you also can have a 14-day free trial. So I know you're over there and you're falling asleep.
Itching.
So I thought he's primed now. He's got another drink and he's ready. So, like literally looking at your Instagram, I probably am like a bit of a geeky super fan because I'll just.
He will have been going through it with a fine fucking tooth comb. Picking it apart.
I just love grass. Like I've told you, we had this debate outside because I was like, people used to tell me to get AstroTurf, and I was just like, that is more disgusting than me saying to you, get an EV.
What, getting AstroTurf? Is it not for you?
I could not think of anything worse.
No.
So
you would cause more trouble online saying artificial grass.
Yeah.
Than any electrical car or anything like that. Artificial grass, honestly. The debates, the bees, the planet you're killing, everything.
Do you know the only thing that Nathan came up with? He goes, well, there is one advantage to having grass, is artificial grass. It's hard to get cat poo out. I was like, thanks for that, Nathan.
True.
Is that your only argument for it?
What?
He'd never mow his lawn. Would you ever mow your lawn if you
I
had?
live in a house share, it's all done for me.
It's all done for me. That's a Tarquin.
I'll do it for it.
I know, yeah. So when I stumbled across your Instagram, I was just like blown away because anything where it's like landscaping is like a form of art. Do you know what I mean? Like putting this here, putting that there, the ways of shaped and stuff like that. And there's another guy, is it Broad Landscapes?
Yeah, Ben. Yeah.
And I watch his stuff. I can't get him to come on the show.
Okay.
I've done the old check your DMs, DM like that in his comments to try and get his attention.
Not answered.
Just completely blanked me. I feel worthless.
Used and abused.
So if you do speak to him, if you know him, say, look,
He does that. We do drop messages every now and again. I think he's at Chelsea Flowers Show.
Because his work and like your work as well, I look at some of the stuff and I just think, A, how do you sort of come up with these ideas, and B, like the execution on them, they just look absolutely phenomenal. So take us back to how you both come together and how you sort of formed and did what you did, and how you came to having such a whack of
it's completely mad. Just two brothers.
Yeah.
I left school, thought, what am I going to do? Mum goes, your uncle's got a job, go in. Straight in. Go in, work with him on a Monday, just start. I thought, I hate this job, hate everything about it. Honestly, the graft. Every day I come home from work, I want to go to bed. I hated it.
Just knackered.
Honestly,
was this doing the same thing?
Same thing. I've started. So the minute I've left school, I've gone straight into landscaping. Just all I know my whole life now. I'm thinking, this is terrible. I can't last. Got paid on the first Friday. Thought it was the best thing in the world. Thought, this is amazing.
Do you know
Let's
what
do
makes
this
me
again.
laugh though? Is when you're at school, you're like, oh, I hate school. You're sitting there watching the clock thinking, double geography, oh, come on. And then literally you go into a job like that and you're like, I just send me back to school.
Missing me mates.
Yeah, it was so difficult, that change though. The first change, I just
Yeah,
did
yeah.
not believe how hard it was going to be. Do you know what I mean? Like literally falling asleep, wake up.
Welcome to the real world.
My dad would just leave me in the sofa. Do you know what I mean? I'm like 17, just asleep, wake up next day, do it again. I thought, this is, what am I going to do? Like, do you know what I mean? I kept doing it, and then all of a sudden, I just.
So can you remember that first week?
I can remember
vividly?
that. I can remember the
tell
pink
that by the way
sofa.
you say
Honestly,
it.
the pink sofa I sat in the first thing, worst thing ever. But then now I look at it and think, 18 years on, never done another job, never done nothing different. All I know,
Don't know anything
don't
different.
know no different. Do you know what I mean?
Do you still sleep on the sofa?
Bought a new one now.
Ain't nothing changed.
Yeah,
mate.
if the missus had her way, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've just been, from then on now, do you know what I mean? He didn't even really finish his last year of school.
Yeah.
Just come with me. He was the best grafter we ever had. Me and my uncle loved it.
You're hearing this. Pay rise
GCSEs,
coming.
GCSEs, you
Yeah,
don't need them,
He
mate.
didn't do none of that. He just turned up, and then you come around the corner, and he's there, like he's like 16. Wheelbarrows full of like 20 breeze blocks. There's all the other blokes like looking at him. It's like, is he all right? That kid all right? You know what I mean? And then you just start contracting. You start working for different people. Do you know what I mean? We were picking up so much from working for different people.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you think, I'm never going to do that. Do you know what I mean?
Was your uncle doing similar levelled stuff?
So I would have said he was the best way to start, because it's like military camp.
Yeah.
Everything's got to be clean. Everything has to be bang on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if the standard wasn't the best, whatever we done, if we were putting a lawn down, it had to be the best lawn we were putting down. Do you know what I mean? If you're cleaning the vans on a Friday, you had to clean that van spotless. So it was always precise, bang on. We had to be amazing at what we do. His work is amazing, but what I would say is we're a bit different in.
It's a bit more artistic.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? We're trying to put a flair on it. Do you know what I mean? Add that little touch.
But I'm sure those little bits of ingredients that he put into you, that it's got to be perfect, they're your building blocks,
Do
aren't
you
they?
still, do you still clean out your van?
He's got OCD on another level, my brother. Honestly, I'm a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean?
You have
But-
to sort his mess out.
Yeah, in a matter of times.
You need that though, because my sister's like everything's got to be like that. And my desk is just terrible, absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
I
so
think
then
you need a bit.
we've then, and then also you mix up, do a bit of contracting, meet some amazing people along the way. One teaches you how to do something amazing. You think, God, that's really good. Leave them, go contract for someone else, and then all of a sudden we pick up work for ourselves. It was good, and then it was hard, and we've had times where we have been to, not many people know, even like not that long ago we were down low. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Really, really low. But the minute he put the camera on me, he started recording me, and people were seeing what we were doing. That was when I think it all changed. Do you know what I mean? People realised we're trying. Do you know what I mean?
You never actually think that somebody's going to enjoy a reel of you like cutting something in a certain shape, or like like rolls of lawn as you unroll it, and it's just madness, isn't it?
He stuck a camera on my face and goes, right, bring
So
that
how- so
wheelbarrow
how
around the
did-
corner. Do you know what I mean? And I was like, why?
With 20 breeze blocks.
Yeah, and we've done that take like 10 times, and I can remember these videos. I was like, just let me record you. And you
So
put it
where
up.
did that start then? So you worked for your uncle, and then you've gone on your own, and you're doing your bits.
Yeah.
At what point?
How
We
old
might
were-
be jumping
how
the
old-
gun a
yeah.
bit.
So
now.
so that big gap, we just moved from contractor to contractor, never really falling out with anyone, just moving, and you outgrow people, or you want a bit more money. These
Yeah.
things happen, don't you
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you're going up and down, but you're never really doing great, and you're never really doing too bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But so then COVID probably come, and then just before that, I think that was when it all changed for me and him. That was when he started.
Before COVID?
Yeah, just before. Right.
Right.
So on the bank, the contractors we were working for didn't want to do much with us because they knew what was coming. So we were like, let's just go again and see what happens. And then,
So
like
you
I
two have
said,
gone off,
Yeah,
and at what point did the camera come out in that then?
I would probably say straight away because he was just addicted.
Was
to
it your
do you know what I mean?
idea?
Yeah.
Your idea?
Oh, we'd still be in the yellow pages if it's down to me, honestly. I don't even take family photos. Honestly, I hate photos. I hate anything like that. But then he's like, let's just show people what we do and see what they think. And
On
you
what
just-
platform? Instagram. You started it on
I
Instagram.
think it's
then?
Instagram we started, yeah, and that was doing all right. And to get to that first 1,000 followers, oh my god,
It feels like an eternity.
Yeah, and what an achievement it
Yeah,
was.
yeah, yeah.
We were like 1,000 people follow us. This is unreal. Like,
But what you're doing, you're just doing what you always do. It's same as like YouTube stuff. You're doing what you do, and you
Yeah.
think,
How's
well,
anyone
this?
interested
Yeah,
in it?
why are people interested in that?
I still think every day, but I appreciate
Yeah.
the amount of love you get from those
Yeah.
people. All those people following us, thinking, yeah, I love it. Do you know what I mean? But I think we are lucky. Whereas most trades don't have what we have. We get a before and an after, which is so drastic, and it's
Huge.
quite quick to see a mess to something that looks amazing. It's quite easy for people to just quickly click on it, love it because you can see it and then move on. Do you know what I mean? So I think that really helps us.
You get to, like with landscape, it's the same with woodwork as well. I find with carpenters when they do like a cabinet or something like that, you can stand back and go. Yeah. Obviously, when you're installing an EV charger and you're digging stuff up, and then
just a wall. My God, look at that on the wall.
A wall with Portaloo potty things on the wall. Like, do you know what I mean? It's not
not the same.
You don't get, like bricklayers as well seem to do quite well on socials, where they're, and they're pushing the bricks in like that.
Yeah, we've tried to stay away. We've done a little bit of a bit of comedy, social media. Do you know what I mean? It never works because I'm just not cut out for it. So it's just not funny. It's just like, let's just show them what's mint and what we think's good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And what everyone else thinks is up to them.
You're putting the content out that you would be happy in watching.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, if you see our grid on Instagram, he is adamant about it. We do not put nothing that is not of the standard. Do you know what I mean? And that is just the way we work. And it's if me and him are over the moon with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're so lucky now that we roll onto jobs and so many people trust us constantly. And it's just like
I always actually choose people that I can see on Instagram doing the jobs because I can watch them during the day. So if I'm at work, I'm like, oh yeah, that's looking good.
It's actually a good point. Honestly, it's a really good point. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's always putting stuff up, and we're there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nowadays, a lot of people work from home anyway, but they just love it. Honestly, I think they love the fact that when we've done it as well, we put their garden up, and they're getting 10 million views on the garden, and they're like, I cannot believe that many people.
How many?
Honestly,
10 views. 10 views.
We've just gone over 1 million, haven't we? And on 2 platforms, yeah.
He sat there, when put someone to that certificate smile. Yeah, we have.
No, it's like, look at this.
What this?
Which is your biggest platform for you guys? TikTok.
Right.
But I think Instagram's going to overtake it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Instagram's going at a
Well,
really good rate.
weirdly as well, there's a lot of people that started on TikTok, and because they grew so big on TikTok, like SQ2 was the same, and
It just fed into
that
everything
Ryan?
else, didn't it?
yeah. So,
watch
that,
his stuff,
so that fed into. He was like, right, okay, I'll go on Insta, and then his Insta went like that.
Yeah.
So it's sort of
Yeah, we had the Instagram before, didn't we? And then went to TikTok, and the TikTok. Yeah, I started Instagram and it was terrible at the start. Really bad. Honestly, it was so bad. Just me and my son doing a bit of gardening, and honestly, that's all it was.
Bit of pruning.
Yeah, it was so bad. I think we did do stuff like that.
I've gone back and deleted some of our original Unilight posts because I'm just like, that's such shit.
I'm not surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't, to be fair. Just gone, like, do you know what? That is not what we do. But then, like now, like I said, 600,000 on TikTok. 600,000 people
It's mental. Isn't
follow us on one platform. You just can't believe it sometimes. Honestly, you just think this is nuts.
So at what point did that blow up?
We've done one garden in a place near us called in Normal Green, and we probably had some good followers by then. We were probably like 40, 50,000 followers, weren't we?
Just good followers. Yeah.
It was starting to get, getting a little bit lively.
How many
do
are
you know
you
what I
on
mean?
TikTok?
TikTok, I don't even check it. My TikTok thing is put a video on, just done. I think I said when Rye said about it, never commented, never looked at a reply on TikTok. We had this conversation the other day, Jack, didn't we? So I was very anti TikTok, didn't we? So my predominant one is YouTube, then Instagram. And Al kept saying to me, Fred, just get a TikTok, just put stuff on it, it's dead easy. Spoke to Rye Davis about it, and he went, it is fucking toxic, mate. If you go in on there,
He's on 200 or 300 as well now, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
So I went, right, I'll just put stuff on
But
it.
he
But in
loves
my
it.
head, I've gone,
He loves it.
I don't need that toxic.
Oh yeah,
I don't need that.
You're going
right?
to get it.
So I put a video on there. I've never looked at a comment.
gonna go and
I've
comment
never
on one of
replied.
yours.
My missus might, sometimes my missus will go, pass me your phone, and she'll be sitting there go, oh my God, let me tell you this. I'm going, no, don't want to hear it.
We were only saying the same earlier, right? So when my missus looks for our comments, there's 2,000 good comments, one bad one.
Yeah,
My missus sits there, me on the sofa and go, please, can I just write something? Honestly, please let me say what I want to say. And I'm like, no, it's fine, honestly.
My miss is the opposite. She's telling me to calm down.
He's fucking shaking like that.
You
But
could
yes,
get 'em-
so you had a certain,
Yeah, well,
certain one that blew up.
One job just went mad. I think it was like 15 million views in like a couple of weeks, wasn't it?
Wow.
Not even that. It was like a week. So it just went crazy.
Was that a reel that you did? On TikTok? So
yeah, it was.
It was the first time we ever tried that style.
Yeah. So we've done. Oh, so yeah. To be honest, I've probably missed a few stages actually. Yeah. What we probably got known for and what people quite like is he just records me quick glimpses throughout the garden. Do you know what I mean? Just knocking a wall down, building a wall, laying the patio. Really quick glimpses. That was the first one we tried that style. That style, 15 million
Well,
views.
just chopped them all together.
Yeah, just chopped it together, real quick little reel, done it on, put it onto both different platforms, and it went mad. It went, honestly, it was like his phone was just going to blow up at some point. I just thought it's like crazy. And
Get
then
off you don't think it's real though when something does happen like that, though, do you?
Yeah, it just I had a video that went massive overnight, and I was like YouTube, because obviously I've used long form content, so it's a bit, numbers are slightly different. But I was like, woke up in the morning, I was like, gee, what's got people's attention on
YouTube
that?
is amazing, but I just think we've got 3,000 subscribers, haven't we? Something like that. And that is so hard. I think it's the time he has to dedicate with the full-time job, with a newborn baby. It's just the time, do you know what I mean? I think
You know what to do. Bristol Uni, somebody.
Yeah,
You come.
The thing, he won't give up anything. He won't let anyone do anything. Honestly, he's
Sounds
adamant,
sounds like me, that, doesn't it?
I think TikTok and Instagram, you can just quickly get
It's
your
short
phone
form
out.
content,
Yeah, you can
isn't
just he can just record me doing something, and then you can have like 50,000 views in just like a minute.
Yeah.
It just keeps you going, ticking over.
They're going to hate me because I need a piss.
always.
Halfway through.
But yeah, the short form content on TikTok and Instagram is throwaway. People watch it and it's next. Whereas YouTube, and I think that's why I like the whole YouTube thing, because you've got to tell a story within your 15, 20-minute video.
Definitely.
You've got to sit there, tell a story. But I think it would be something that people will go back and watch. So you do a massive garden, or you do an install that is brilliant. It's got hit so many key points, and you title it right, people would go back and they'll forever watch that content. It's always there. Whereas TikTok, once it's gone out that,
they're probably not going to
3 or
scroll
4
back down your
week-
page and find that.
yeah,
definitely again. And
it's
then you just-
like YouTube. I like, heart, and comment every single comment on YouTube, because that's my predominant thing.
Yeah.
And I know full well if I went onto the TikTok and done that, it would work. But I just don't. My YouTube's 99.9% decent comments. I get the odd one, fine, but
There's always one.
yeah, TikTok, it's fucking. I can't be dealing with that.
We're lucky nowadays.
I'm gonna get these to badger you to get on TikTok.
It has changed so much for us. I'll be honest. Probably half the reason why people, so many more people are seeing us. But Instagram now, it's
It's a bit
firing
like
off.
you guys and how you've blown up. Remind me very much of Absolutely Shocking. You know, the new build home quality, and everybody, even like my missus.
Yeah, but
used to go,
you got him here, but it was the other guy, wasn't it?
No, John Coops. Yeah.
But didn't you?
It wasn't Orlando who does
That was it.
But literally, those guys with
Snagging
TikTok
on the new build.
Yeah,
that's it,
you find that formula that works.
Yeah. And that's going back to that video of him just with the snippets.
Yeah.
And I think people have got used to that video, and they're the ones that normally do tend to take off. Then they're onto your Instagram, liking your pictures, and now we're getting like 20,000 likes on an Instagram picture, which we just never would have had stuff like that before. Do you know what I mean? And I think TikToks give us that little bit of a boost.
It seems to be that, doesn't it? TikTok is, if you got a good following that, it will feed the others. Yeah. Whereas you try and do it the other way around, it's quite.
To go from
tough.
Instagram, large on Instagram, to TikTok, they're very, very different.
Yeah.
But I think if you can get like the TikTok sort of formula down, it works really well with Reels, because they've sort of tried to copy it, so it pushes your Instagram.
It's more if someone knows what you're about and what you're trying to get across to everyone, and they can just relate, because it's a short time. It's that first 2 seconds, and but they see you again. But that's it. That's how it gets going.
But those before and afters that you do, you know, like when you go in the garden, look shit, and then you just go, or you know, chuck the granite
do
or something like that, and it's like boof, like that.
Honestly, sometimes I go now and think, like, the worse the better. Do you know what I mean? At the start, the more of a hellhole.
Shittiest guy. He's like that. Yes, here we go.
Honestly, the more
He's
dog
like
shit,
shaking.
the fire, everything. And then you just put that little before and after up, and I think that's where we get away with what we've got. Because, and don't get me wrong, I make it sound like it's just that the months and months work in between. 7 days a week, the hard graft, the family don't see us, do you know what I mean? All the stuff. But those videos give you that little bit of relief and think, I know why I'm doing this, do you know what I mean? And then the positive messages you do get occasionally, they keep you going. Do you know what I mean? They will help you get out of bed.
One thing I want to come back to there, because obviously you mentioned like the family, the work that goes into it. One sort of thing that I always find is people say, oh, well, how do you grow a social media following? We've only got probably 70-something thousand on the Insta. Everything else is pretty low. But even to get to there on Instagram, like my wife used to say she was an Instagram widow, because literally she'd lose me for the whole night just replying to people and stuff like that. Like when you've got a family as well, and people just look at that number and think, oh, you know, they're massive on whatever. Yeah. But they don't actually see the stuff that goes in behind it.
I get away with it. I'm going to be honest with you. So when I finish work, I do the designs, the drawings and stuff like that. But he does the social media. Yeah. how his partners put up with him. So no, I do not know, because he is in bed, honestly. You'll see him putting reels up. He knows how many he wants to do a day on each different platform.
Babe, do you fancy it tonight? Give me 5 minutes.
And honestly, he is so dedicated that it is like a full-time. We know people that actually have social media people that are doing less hours than him, and he's still laying a 50 square metre patio in 2 days. Do you know what I mean? He's still working.
It
still
is.
doing social
It's
media.
a massive thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the one thing I find with brands, obviously similar to us, is they're very, very blinkered to actually, you know, you are doing your job, but you're still better than half the people working in social media.
Yeah.
That's the ironic.
We stand tall, aren't we?
Yeah, everything we do is like, do you know what I mean? We're just, I would like to say winging it, making it up, but I think he's done such a good job now. It's got to the point where I actually think he knows what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? And,
He does know what he's doing.
yeah,
I think he does.
We've got people that they message us on everything. Can you come do our social media?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's a landscaper. Do you know what I mean? So-
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
at least you know if the landscaping goes to Tik, you've got a job doing the TikTok.
You got to feed them them fucking algorithms.
It is,
You got to feed them, ain't you?
You just got to keep
Honestly.
it. Keep it
Feeding
going.
something, but it's not an algorithm.
We've got a holiday next month, and we've both been banned from our things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I don't know
get it
how that's
ready,
going to
yeah.
go.
It'd
Yeah.
be worse for you.
Honestly.
It'd be worse for you. You'd be like
Probably 4 to
at the
5
buffet
hours.
in the morning.
Withdrawal
Do you want some
symptoms,
breakfast?
like-
No. It's like a block of crack, that, to
Yeah.
be fair to it.
But that is what has changed us. I'll be honest with you. From not knowing, taking us back a few years ago on a Friday where we were working on a Monday,
Yeah.
to now we are 18 months to 2 years ahead.
And one thing
It's crazy.
we talked about out there was obviously you said you're going to maybe potentially start going and working in different areas. I mean, how much of your business now comes from the social side?
I-
Would you say most of
I
it?
would
or-
probably say we're pushing 89% of it, in all honesty. But what we're finding is it's coming through the social media, but like the job I'm on at the moment, she had already been following us. She'd spoke to a friend who'd recommended us, who followed us, and then Bristol's not that big when you get to it, and then quite a lot of the people that she knew us, and then we've ended up going in a roundabout way, but she was already following us, and then she wanted us anyway, and it's just, I think it's allowed people to see us that bit easier, but in Bristol we're quite well known now, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but going further, like leaving Bristol, I don't know, do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's still, we've got opportunities, really good opportunities to move out and do some big stuff, but it's the dedication.
You've got to make
the
it
time.
work as well. Like you're travelling, being away.
It's really worrying. Like.
That's the hard bit, and it is. He's going, right, we're going to go away for 2-3 weeks to do this, out of your comfort zone of Bristol, where you know where everything is.
It's
If you
it's
need-
good for the YouTube content, though.
Oh, mega.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mega
it-
for
Don't
that.
give him any more. Yes, YouTube content.
The problem is with us, an average project used to be 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Now we're into 3 months.
Yeah.
Is
4
that
months.
just because the stuff that you're doing is getting more technical? Or is it?
It's getting more technical, but what we're doing, we're covering every inch of that garden. Whereas you used to do a fence, and I'll come back next year and I'll lay your patio for it. But now it is, we will do every inch of that garden in this one visit. And then where we're not actually worried about the time so much, we're more dedicated to the detail. We're so focused on it that you can go in and just do, like you see these videos, just doing a few cuts for that day. You can be doing a couple of cuts in a day, and that's our day gone.
Yeah.
We're not worried about trying to put down massive square meters, or we are just generally worried about the finish. It's
That's a
all
nice
about
place
the
to be
finish.
at, isn't it?
Yeah,
The fact you ain't rushing because it's got to be perfect.
yeah. If we give dates and stuff like that, and they come over, they go under, whatever. People always add on extras,
Yeah.
but at the moment, they're probably going over. To be honest with you, a lot of them, but we're not worried.
How do you price in these jobs as well then? Because that's obviously during COVID, I'd say plumbing, and don't take this the wrong way, I'd say maybe it's probably easier to price a plumbing job when you've got a whole garden, you've got like a timber pergola, or you've got like, I don't know, some sort of decking area, or you've got, you know, tiled porcelain.
Yeah,
Like how,
we are fully in-house as well, apart from our electrics. So it's me and him that are going to do everything, even from when we pin.
electrics, he'll come up.
If you move in the Dorset area,
If you
Glenn
branch out.
digger for
Or
his,
Bristol.
We are doing everything ourselves. So it's really difficult, because I know I think I know how long stuff's going to take, but like I said, it's we've not actually stopped. We're pricing up, not really worried on that. We are pricing it up on the fact that this is just going to be an amazing garden. I'm selling it to the customer. So each customer they're so different. Everyone is completely different. But the last job we completed, one of the biggest compliments we got from the customer and her friends, they were like, "You have literally perfectly replicated what they would have wanted."
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We've done our style, but the way they wanted it. And just from that quick visit where you do a couple of site visits before you get there,
You get a gauge of what they
you can
want.
tell what they want. Do you know what I mean? And you sort of like send me some pictures of things you like. Do you know what I mean? And that can be down from a pillow, a colour of a piece of wood, anything. Just send me what you like, and I will do what we can do.
Yeah.
And then just trust us. And the minute they trust us,
it's similar with bathrooms. When I'll go and look, you get a gauge of what that customer's after. They don't really know what they
that's
want.
it, yeah.
But you know, being doing it that long, you know where they're trying to get to. So when you finish a project, do you do a big reveal to the customer? Do you try and keep them away from it?
That has probably been our thing as well. Now we're going into that quite a lot more. So we'll warm up. We'll get a little bit of a few, a few stories,
60-minute makeover.
Yeah.
Oh, there's tears.
To be honest with you, the customers have just been there so long, haven't they? They're just like in and out,
Yeah.
But I think even when normally what happens is when the electrician comes in, we get all the lights fitted, and then we get them out in the evening, and we light the fires, and we put the lights on, and you flick it,
Smooth,
and they just look at, and then I stand there still.
The Barry White comes out,
and you just think, oh my god, we have genuinely done this. Do you know what I mean? And then it is that big sort of reveal, and then we sort of reveal it to everyone. We get to a point that we actually don't put out too many pictures towards the end of a job. We see quite a lot of people that do. They really do. They show you the
because
whole
your
job.
customer's going to see that.
Yeah, but then you get some people, they put out their whole job, so they give you a story almost every day, but they've revealed so much by the time it comes to the end of the job.
You're not bothered.
You're not really bothered by it, are you? So what we try and do, he's really good at
clever.
snipping.
He is. He's
He's given enough that when we say draw it,
bit of shoulder.
When it starts getting excited, you don't see no more then.
Yeah, and then we go, and then everyone thinks we've gone quiet for a bit,
Next
and then
time-
you just,
next
and
time
then
do
the
that.
views just
I
go
want
like
more.
through the roof. It helps. No, we've learned a few tricks, but like I said, we are so lucky to have the customers we got, the family we got, everything around us at the moment. Is the people, the customers are amazing.
That probably helps you produce better work as
Oh,
well.
definitely. I can recall jobs back in the past that customers have been like, right, I want this here and that there, and I was like, what's your experience? I've been selling cars for 35 years, and he's trying to tell me what to do, and I'm thinking, all right, I'll do what you do then.
Looks dog shit.
Yeah, and I finish it, and he goes, I wish I'd have listened to you. And I'm thinking, well, this is what I was here for. I genuinely thought I was here to help you. Yeah. I'm only going to help
The
these
problem
people.
is as well with jobs like that is you don't then want to show off that work because it's not you expressing.
Definitely,
how you,
They're towards the start, sometimes you look at it and you think, God, I wish you'd have never changed those slabs. Do you know what I mean? But
because that's one thing that everybody that sort of comments on stuff that we do is price.
Yeah.
How to price those jobs.
I would say we used to price down every screw, every nail, and write every single little thing down. How many days I know, what we can square meterage, what a rate would go out, and that has started to go slightly out the window a little bit because I'm just looking at a time period, what their budget is, and how far they want to go with it. Because you can give me two budgets, and I can say, like, it's going to look this good, or it's going to look beyond it, and they normally go, let's make it look.
It's going to look Beyonce, or
so that goes back to being so lucky that we generally do get those customers that just look at us and go, just make it unreal.
Just do what you want.
Yeah, and
but that helps.
That feels
with the
so nice. And the social media has done that because we've always been the same landscapers, grafting hard. We've always worked hard, but it's the people, the customers have to trust you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And if they don't, the social media's allowed them to see, well, they've done that amazing.
It's just an online portfolio, isn't it?
Yeah.
Where they can flick through, and like you say, it's there. You're showing them exactly what it is.
Yeah, so we've experienced it all. Do you know what I mean? We have generally gone through all the graft, all the hate, waking up. Yeah, we used to bump start our vans, he used to run down the hill, push me, and we had to park on a hill when we got to the job. We had to find the nearest hill, because that's how it is, do you know what I mean?
But people don't see all of this.
Oh no, they haven't seen like the days where your missus, me and my partner have split up for a couple of years because I'm so dedicated to what I do, but we've had, it's been tough, but we're actually starting to enjoy it now.
Good,
Do you know what I mean? And I think the more we enjoy it, the better the gardens get, the better we can do stuff like this. We can come on here and thank boys like you lot for having us, and we can do stuff that actually shows people that we are thankful of those customers that are really, do you know what, even on those rainy days, those snowy days, and they look at it and think, why are they still working? Do you know what I mean? Just get home, boys.
We get people on here. I mean, the main reason I wanted to start the podcast is I'm not in a trade. But obviously we sell to trades. But Pete obviously was in the trades. Like we have guests like you on and Rob and other guest presenters. But I just wanted to do this mainly because nobody actually gets to know you guys. Like you're filming all day, but nobody gets to know about you and how you got started and the stuff that you do. And it's a bit more personable than just being like, oh, I love those gardens that those guys do.
Yeah, I think people think we just instantly were like that. Do you know what I mean? There is so many years of literally paying friends going, well, why are you not here this weekend? Or why are you working 7 days? Or why are you working all these hours and not getting much back? But it wasn't that. We were gaining so much more. Do you know what I mean? And
you're getting experience.
Yeah, we had to learn we had to go through all of those really, really bad days to get to a point now where I can go, I can make your garden look mint, and if you trust me, it will be mint. Do you know what I mean? And the pair of us just turn up, and we just love it. We honestly, I think you have to love it though.
So, as you know, myself and Pete, we always want to try and give back to the people that watch and listen to the show. So we've done you an absolute solid. We've got loads of discounts from top name brands all across the internet. So if you want to save some money on tools, software, tool bags, accessories, then go and check out our discount page, which is just located here. Hopefully there's a saving on there for you, and that's a little bit of a thank you from myself and Pete for supporting the channel. So, should we wrap it there? But what we normally do at this point is we sort of, it's like a bit like a Jerry Springer final thought, isn't it?
He's gone, hasn't he? Bless him.
I know, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
R.I.P. Jezza. We sort of get you guys to either give some advice, plug yourself to death, or just sort of like, you know, for anybody listening or watching that's potentially thinking, well, I want to become a landscaper, or how do I get into solar and EV? Just a little bit of spiel at the end to sort of like sign it off. And then,
I think all I'd say, we get messages occasionally of people asking us for advice. If there's someone that's looking to get into the EV or solar game, feel free to contact us.
Don't do it.
Yeah,
because I'm doing it.
Because the market's ours. No, get in touch. We can offer any advice on, you know, for something we can answer. We'll happily help you. We're happy to collaborate with people on stuff.
Yeah.
And
is that something that you want to do on social, collaborate more with people on?
Yeah, so we've got something potential coming up, which I won't mention now.
Especially with Jordan, if he's knocking out $3,000 quotes. Collaborate with him all week.
If you don't already, give us a follow on Instagram and YouTube.
What's your handle?
South Coast EV on both. So head on over.
Across the board.
I'll be honest with you, we did last year. We weren't responding to anyone. To do something like this, it just went on the cards because we were more worried about every single job that's booked in being done and just head down and working.
Yeah.
Now this year we're thinking, let's do some stuff to. You're helping us. It can help.
The thing is with you guys is you get so wrapped up in it, but actually you don't realise, like you said, the first 1,000, you remember that, but you don't remember 1,000 to 100,000. So this sort of stuff is like almost like a little mini sideshow to remind you of the things that you've done.
It's something that, honestly, we can't thank you enough.
I'll probably speak to you in like a year's time. You'd be like, yeah, I've got 30,000 on YouTube.
I'm still trying to get to 2,000.
but those first bits, and then all of a sudden, I think
I found when I hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube, it went.
You were on 10,000 when I started sponsoring the channel.
Yeah, that's right.
And what you're on now?
11. No. 28,000, something like that. And so my goal was 10,000 every year on YouTube.
Yeah, that's so hard.
I was trying to get 10,000 every year.
Yeah, that's really good.
So he's done 18,000.
Yeah.
That's so good, honestly. Like I said, the YouTube is the one 3,000. We were over the moon with that, to be honest with you, because we know how tough it is. It is solid. And you see some of these, I see all these landscaping stuff, and they do try the YouTube, but I think it is so much dedication. The time is going to have to be you've already got that audience. That's the So if we can transfer them, maybe it might be a quicker way to do it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
like Al said, you've built that, and now to transcend it over there. Whereas I've done it the other way.
Bristol Uni, anybody Bristol Uni?
Yeah, anyone out there? If we can get them over to the YouTube side, but. This might be the year we start doing a bit more of that. Do you know what I mean? Because it is unfair on him. He's doing so many hours. He's just got like his little lad's 7 months old. Do you know what I mean? We've got young families. So
I'll tell you what though, when they're crying, it's a great excuse, isn't it?
Got to knock some videos out.
The thing is with YouTube, we're completely involved in anything that's filmed, and if it's shit, I'll say it's shit. I don't like that. Or take that part out and put this in. He edits it and films it, but I'd say we're more in control than he is of what we actually put out.
You sort of oversee the final edit on it.
Unit the other day, and you were like, "Let's go inside." Yeah.
all I would say from my view on the YouTube stuff that we do, don't overproduce it because I think the trade videos, the trade channels that go out like the rawness of what we do.
Sometimes some like Jordan's videos obviously are really, really good. So I think it depends on your audience. Yeah. Obviously, you with that's your fan. They're used to seeing you like that. I think if you actually started doing super polished stuff, people would be like, you sell out. You sell out, man.
Yeah, but for me, the raw side of it works quite well for me. But yeah, like with yours, because it's a massive reveal at the end, you can ramp that up.
You get some great shots with the drone as well.
Honestly, to know there's so many tricks and stuff like that he's done, and what he's done with that.
How many bushes has he got in?
I was just going to say, we had a drone, right? I thought, I'll be good at that. I'm crap and stuff. first day.
Crashed it 3 times.
No, amazing, stunning garden. Actually, one of the nicest gardens you can ever go to. Right there, one tree in the garden. Right,
You hit it.
smashed straight up. Right, he's gone bang straight across the customer's patio. Gone. I was like, right, let's stick to him on a ladder. So everything you see on our page is normally him up a ladder,
Fucking pulling off
as
the
high as
wires.
you can, yeah, literally, and pretending to float like a drone. Like, I mean, he's.
So we'll come back to you then for what's your Jerry Springer moment, or is there anything
I'm going to be honest with you. We are really, really, really so thankful. Like even today, we're thankful to be here. Really thankful. But so many people write so many nice things about what we do. Do you know what I mean? And we're so happy about that. But if it wasn't for our old man, our partners, and really close family and friends, we probably wouldn't be here. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So all I say, it's the hardest thing we've ever done. But at the time, we just feel like we're getting started, and it's so rewarding that if anyone does want to do this, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be nice. Yeah. But when it gets good, it feels amazing. Do you know what I mean? It does genuinely feel rewarding. My brother's my best mate, and we graft with each other every day for our whole adult life. Yeah. You're going to need someone on side who's good with you. Do you know what I mean? Because we've been through the ringer. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? We've been through it all, but we're so thankful now. If anyone was starting tomorrow in landscape, I'll tell them the truth. It's going to be rough. Yeah. You're going to have some horrible, horrible days where you just think, I hate this job. Yeah. But then when that customer comes out and just goes, you've blown me away, I can't thank you enough.
Yeah, that's the
those are
money
people,
shot, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's who I want to thank. Like today, these people that have just genuinely said, honestly, you boys have changed our life. Not just built us a garden, you've changed our home, changed the way we live. Kids come out there, they love it. Do you know what I mean? It is good, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, so for us to finish off, we just want to say thank you to everyone. Like I said, especially our old man and partners for just really putting in. They put up with a lot. Do you know what I mean? They do.
And your uncle for making you clear the van out. Thanks, Uncle.
5 to 5 on a Friday. And
is he still about, your uncle?
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, he does maintenance and all that.
I'd love it if he still came around on a Friday. You haven't cleaned that van.
Missed a bit.
The thing is, I can remember it sticks in my mind. 5 to 5 on a Friday. Yeah, you got to clean the van out. I was like, well, I'm going in 5 minutes. No, you're not. Clean the van out. 10 minutes setting out the jet wash is 5:05 because we set the jet wash on, then you got to clean the van out. I'm like, so there at 5:30. I'm like, I thought I was getting it. That was it every day. Do you know what I mean? That was what he was like. But I loved it.
But it's instilled, isn't it? It's instilled from the start.
Yeah, definitely. It has to be.
The bricks are there.
And it's really hard for us to get that now when we've had lads who've worked for us in the past to do that to them because no one's really that interested in grafting that
unless
hard.
It's your business.
Yeah, and I do you know what? I get it. Do you know what I mean? They're just going to come in, earn a wage. They, unless you find a lad who loves it, but they're not that easy to find. They're really not that easy. Yeah, and generally, like Ben, the best lads are doing it on their own. Do you know what I mean? And the best lads who are all on social media, they're doing it on their own. Do you know what I mean? And I think
they ain't got 410,000 followers, have they?
600,000 on TikTok, actually. 1 million across all social platforms.
When we hit the 1 million, we'll be over the moon. We get the 1 million on one platform. I think that might be. We might have a party. You boys will be invited.
I'll do you a big giveaway for that.
If we can get to that, we will
You'll
be.
Put some lights on some spades for that.
Sounds good.
Some fireworks.
Yeah, that sounds.
Send the bat signal out from the top of it.
That's it.
They've just put our Green Genie logo. Just send it from it. Yeah.
1 mil.
Yeah, no, we are buzzing. Do you know what I mean? We genuinely are pleased for what we've been done.
Good for you. Good for you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to come up and chat with us anyway. No, thank you
very
very
much. Been very interesting.
If you like listening to Al talk over all the guests, if you've enjoyed this episode of Trade Legends, listening to Al talk over everybody else and people banging on the desk, if you've enjoyed listening to and watching today, you're fucking gonna just stay still, one space just for a minute.
If you've enjoyed watching this, blah 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 blah. Right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So I'll just not do it.
Go.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna shut up for just like a minute. If you've enjoyed listening and watching today's Trade Legends podcast, please subscribe to our channel. It will really help us out. We're a new podcast. We want to do big things, and you subscribing, hitting the little bell so you get notifications, would be just great. Thank you.
Hitting the little bell. I was like, yeah, ding, 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 ding.
There is a little bell in there.